Have you ever wondered who wrote the medical textbooks that doctors studied for over 600 years? Not in the 20th century, not in the 19th, but from the Middle Ages all the way to the Enlightenment. The answer might surprise you. It wasn't a European scholar or a Roman physician, but a Persian polymath named Avicenna. This is the story of how one man's genius mind revolutionized medicine forever. Picture this. It's the year 980 in a small village near Bukhara, in what is now Uzbekistan. A boy is born, Ibn Sina, known to the West as Avicenna. From a young age, it was clear he was no ordinary child. By the age of 10, he had memorized the entire Quran. By 16, he was debating medical theory with seasoned physicians. And by 18, he was a fully qualified doctor, already famous for curing the Samanid emir of a severe illness when all other court physicians had failed. This wasn't just raw talent. It was an insatiable hunger for knowledge. Avicenna devoured everything he could read, from Greek philosophy and Indian mathematics to Persian poetry. He famously read Aristotle's Metaphysics 40 times until he knew it by heart. This unique ability to synthesize knowledge from different cultures and disciplines was the secret sauce to his revolutionary approach to medicine. He didn't just see the body as a machine to be fixed. He saw it as a complex system interconnected with the mind, the environment, and even the soul. So what did Avicenna actually do that was so groundbreaking? Let's dive into his masterpiece, the Canon of Medicine, or Al-Qawan fil Tibb. This wasn't just a book. It was a 5-volume encyclopedia that systematically organized all known medical knowledge of his time and then pushed it light years ahead. It was so logical, so comprehensive, and so practical that it became the gold standard for medical education in both the Islamic world and Europe for centuries. First, Avicenna was a pioneer of evidence-based medicine. Long before it was a buzzword, he insisted that medical treatments must be tested and proven effective. In the Canon, he laid out 7 rules for testing new drugs and treatments. For example, he stated a drug must be pure, tested on a simple disease, and observed on multiple patients to be considered effective. This was the birth of the clinical trial, a concept that is the very foundation of modern medicine today. He was applying the scientific method to healing 1,000 years ago. He was also a master of diagnosis. Avicenna was incredibly detailed in his descriptions of diseases. He was the first to accurately describe meningitis and differentiate it from other types of headaches. He gave the classic descriptions of diabetes, including its sweet-tasting urine symptom. He even correctly identified the contagious nature of diseases like tuberculosis, proposing that they spread through tiny particles in the air and water, a primitive version of germ theory centuries before Pasteur. Think about that for a moment. At a time when many believed diseases were punishments from the gods, Avicenna was looking for rational, observable causes. He meticulously documented symptoms, used pulse diagnosis with incredible subtlety, and analyzed urine color, consistency, and sediment to understand what was happening inside the body. He was a medical detective of the highest order. But his genius wasn't limited to identifying problems. His approach to treatment was holistic in a way that feels incredibly modern. He emphasized the importance of diet, exercise, and lifestyle. He understood that a patient's mental state could profoundly affect their physical health, making him one of the earliest pioneers of psychosomatic medicine. He recognized that things like joy and sadness had real physical consequences on the body. The Canon also delved deep into pharmacology. It lists around 800 medicinal plants and substances, detailing their properties and uses. He wasn't just repeating old folk remedies. He was systematically analyzing and categorizing them. He explored anesthesia, using mixtures of herbs to reduce pain during surgical procedures, a practice that was far from common at the time. And speaking of surgery, while he was primarily a physician, his work laid the groundwork for surgical advancements. He described surgical procedures for treating cancers, removing cysts, and even a procedure called tracheotomy to help with breathing obstructions. He stressed the importance of cleaning wounds and using wine as an antiseptic, a simple but life-saving practice. The influence of the Canon of Medicine cannot be overstated. When it was translated into Latin in the 12th century, it hit Europe like a tidal wave. It became a core text in universities from Paris to Padua. Medical students would spend years poring over its pages. For more than 600 years, if you were studying to be a doctor in Europe, you were studying Avicenna. His logical structure and systematic approach brought a new level of rigor to a field that was often riddled with superstition. He provided a common language and a shared framework for doctors across continents. An illustration in an old European manuscript might show a professor lecturing from the canon to a room full of students. That's how central he was. He bridged the gap between the ancient wisdom of Hippocrates and Galen and the dawn of the Renaissance, preserving and enhancing that knowledge for future generations. But Avicenna was more than just a physician. He was a true polymath. He wrote over 450 works on topics ranging from philosophy and logic to astronomy, alchemy, and music theory. In philosophy, his work to reconcile Aristotelian thought with Islamic theology was massively influential on later thinkers in both the Islamic world and Christian Europe. He was a giant of the Islamic Golden Age, a period of incredible intellectual and cultural flourishing. His life itself was an adventure. He was a vizier, a political advisor, a prisoner, a fugitive, and a scholar, constantly moving from court to court, all while relentlessly writing and teaching. He would often work late into the night, debating with his students on complex philosophical and medical questions, his mind always buzzing with new ideas. So when you see a doctor today performing a clinical trial, considering your mental state as part of your health, or prescribing a medicine whose effects have been systematically tested, you're seeing the echoes of Avicenna's legacy. He was a man who believed in reason, observation, and the power of systematic knowledge to heal. He taught us that medicine should be a science, not guesswork. Avicenna's story is a powerful reminder that genius knows no borders and that the pursuit of knowledge can truly change the world. He was a bridge between cultures and a beacon of reason, whose light guided the path of medicine for centuries and continues to shine in the principles that doctors live by today. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into the incredible figures who shaped our world. Let me know in the comments which historical genius you'd like to learn about next. Until then, stay curious.